I don't need to say much.
I don't need to say much.
Hi guys, and welcome to the second episode of the Hey Don't Say That podcast. Today we're going to be doing about 2 Reddit stories. So let's go ahead and get into the stories. Also, I want to thank you guys, all of you guys that watched my last video. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into these stories for today because some of them are a little juicy. Alright, so for the first story, it says, "Am I the ass left my husband behind?" That's the title. Just right off the bat, I'm gonna say no. No, what he do? He did something. We all know he did something. But right off the bat, I'm gonna say no because sometimes we know these stories come with a plot twist. So anyway, it says, "Am I the asshole because I left my husband behind?" It says, "So my husband, male 39, has an habit of not being time conscious. He's almost late for everything. He owns his business, so he is always leaving for work or appointments at almost last minute. I don't bother with those because it doesn't affect me. But sometimes we want to go out, we will wait till the very last minute, or he would wait until the very last minute. I mean, when I am all dressed and have the kids ready before he even thinks of getting into the shower. It pisses me off a little bit, but I let it go because sometimes they are not time-bound outings. Myself, 34 female, on the other hand, typically hardly late for anything. A mutual friend of ours welcomed their baby and myself and my husband. A mutual friend of ours welcomed their baby. Myself and my husband and I agreed the night before that we were going to leave after church to go visit them, as my husband doesn't like to drive long distances and he avoids the highway like a plague. So leaving from church cuts 30 minutes away from the drive, as they live about an hour away from our house. The problem is that on a typical Sunday, we don't go to church together, as I am a worker in the church, but he is not. And all church workers are expected to be there by 9:30. Okay. Ever since I joined the church workforce, I make sure not to arrive any later than 9:30, except for circumstances beyond my control. And he doesn't come to church until much later. So this Sunday morning that we agreed the night before to leave home together, I woke up at my usual 7 a.m. to start prepping myself and kids for church. He woke up at around 8, but stayed in the bed pressing his phone all through the time I was up and about. Oh man. My thinking was that he probably changed his mind and would take a ride to meet me in church, and there was not a point in driving separate cars if we all... My thinking was that he probably changed his mind and would take a ride to meet me in church, as there was not a point in driving in separate cars if we all would be going in one car afterwards. Okay. After I was done prepping myself and kids, we have 2 kids, by the way, and getting ready to leave, he said to wait for him to get into the shower really quick so that he could come along. Sir, what? I told him it's 9 a.m. already, and he knows that I don't like to be late, and that he had almost an hour to get ready, but instead stayed on his phone. Exactly. I told him I wasn't going to wait. He thought I was joking and went into the shower, but I drove off regardless. I don't see the problem here. After church service, I noticed he didn't show up. I called and told him that I can drive back home to get him and we can go together. He told me that he was no longer interested in going anymore and that I knew he was getting in the shower, yet I drove off. So I left with the kids to my friend's place. Don't tell me this man finna throw a tantrum. Please don't tell me that. He has been giving me the silent treatment since we got back. Am I the asshole for leaving him behind? No, you are not the asshole. You are not the asshole. What's wrong with him? What's wrong with your husband, ma'am? Can you answer that question? you're not the asshole because you guys discussed it. This is my opinion. Let me know if anybody else has a different opinion, I guess. But you're not the asshole because you guys discussed the night before that you guys were going to leave together, go to church together, because you were going to visit your friends that just had the baby. This was discussed mutually between you and your husband. So he knew that you guys were leaving together in the morning. And he chose. So basically what I think he should have did is when he seen you getting up and getting ready, he should have got up and got ready. Because he seen you getting up and get ready. And instead of him getting up and get ready, he chose to stay in the bed on the phone. That was a him problem. He knew what you were getting up and getting ready for. And the fact that you had 2 kids that you also got ready in this time is insane to me. So you got not only got yourself ready, you got 2 children ready. And you were out the door on time. And then when you were going to leave out the door, he wanted you to stay away from him. No. I would have told him, I would have left too. And told him to figure it out. Like if he still wanted to come. Honestly, in my opinion, I think he didn't want to go. He did it on purpose. He did it on purpose is what I think. Hold on, are we recording? Oh, yeah, we are. I think we did it. I think he did it on purpose. He never wanted to go. Like, to see your friend's baby. But that's just my opinion. Let me read some of the comments. So the first comment said, sure you knew he was in the shower, but you left anyway. Just like he knew you had to be somewhere on time, and he stayed in bed playing on his phone anyway. So he caused you to leave without him by making no effort to cooperate. Yeah, like he is not a little kid. Like, just like how you have to be to work at a certain time, you have to be, I don't know, to appointments at certain times. Like, sir, he knew what was going on. He just being difficult and childish. It also said, the second half of that comment said, if he doesn't see that he's just an ass, he's the ass. I would tell him going forward, he needs to be more considerate and more responsible when he knows there is a time constraint because you are going to be on time, whether he makes the effort or not, period. Don't make yourself late. Don't inconvenience yourself, especially since you have kids and you can seem to get yourself together and some kids ready and he can't figure it out for himself. Yeah, don't inconvenience yourself. Don't do that. And somebody responded to that comment, said, exactly. It's not about being petty. It's about respecting each other's time. Yeah, that's the respect thing. Somebody said, exactly. My ex-girlfriend was always like this. I even arrived late to pick her up sometimes, and I still ended up waited 30 minutes or more. And I would be pissed if I got, and she would be pissed if I got pissed. Yeah. Like, how inconsiderate of a person to do that. Someone said, I tell him that going forward, you are never going to wait more than 10 minutes for him. Then you'll be leaving without him. If he can't manage that, you'll be doing a lot of separate outings. I agree. Because, yeah, like I said, this is not a child. He knows what's going on. He knows, like, church starts at a certain time. Like, even if you weren't going to your friends after. Like, church starts at a certain time. Sir, stop playing. Right. Somebody said, not the ass. He knew the plan the night before. Watch you get yourself and 2 kids ready and still waited until the last minute to shower. That's not poor timing. That's expecting you to bend around his lack of urgency. That's it. That's the one. You didn't leave him behind. He chose not to be ready. Okay. The silent treatment just makes him look more immature. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. You did say he's giving you the silent treatment like a toddler. Like, I'm not going to talk to you. Like, sir, do we care? Oh, my goodness. Oh, somebody responded to that and said he wanted an excuse for not going anyway. I said that. I said that. He wanted an excuse for not going. Somebody said, not the ass. Do that every time he's late from now on. He's an adult. He knows what time you're leaving and he needs to be an adult. And why is it all on you to get the kids ready? I mean, I wasn't thinking about that, but I mean, you guys do have 2 kids. He couldn't take a kid, get himself ready, and get a kid ready. So not only did you have to get yourself ready, you had to get 2 kids. Yeah, he doesn't seem very helpful, at least in this story. Like, is this like a ongoing thing? Is he always like this? Because I'm finding it very hard to believe this is just like a one-off thing, like he just did this. Somebody responded to that and said, my first question also, why isn't he getting the kids ready? You have 3 children in your house, ma'am. So it's like a lot of comments on this, and so far I'm not seeing one where it says that you're the asshole. It's all saying that you're not the asshole and that he is the asshole. Somebody even mentioned marriage counseling is in order. Marriage counseling, let me read the comment. It says marriage counseling is in order. He needs another adult to tell him he isn't being responsible to you or his family. You two are partners. And when he doesn't hold up to his end of an agreement, he is treating you with disrespect. He realizes he is a role model for his kids, right? How does he want them to act and treat people? He needs to have someone else, not you, reframe his perspective. Right now, he is blind to everyone else's needs. Yeah, I think that goes back to the comment where I said, like, does this happen all the time? Like, I'm finding it just from the outside reading this, that this is probably not the first time he's done this. Hence, which is why I think you left. Like, you probably like, I'm tired of this. I'm not doing this. But yeah, I don't see any comments that says, like, you're the ass. Yeah, you're not the ass. I guess I called it right when I read the title. I'm sticking to it. You're not the ass, and your husband need to grow up and realize that he's a grown man and to be ready on time. Like, if there's a time frame you need to be somewhere, he needs to figure it out. So, yep. That was that story. Let's see another one. Oh, here's one. So, the title is, Am I the Asshole for Breaking Up with My Boyfriend After His Ex Texted Me? Yeah, so, hold on, let me read that again. Am I the asshole for breaking up with my boyfriend after his ex texted me? Why is his ex texting you? Why is his ex texting, period? Like, I'm gonna say no, because why? Like, are there some kids involved or something? I don't know. Well, let's go ahead and dive into the story. It says, am I the asshole for breaking up with my boyfriend after his ex texted me? I, 21 female, am recently having a hard time dealing with coming to the decision of breaking up with my boyfriend a few days ago due to after his ex texted me. For some context, they were in a relationship before, and the relationship lasted about 4 years, and then they broke up. It was nasty. He had got physical with her. Yikes. She had cheated on him. Overall, just a lot of bad things. She texted me and told me to drop my location because that was her boyfriend, and I was just in shock because I had, oh my, what? Hold on. This is already, she texted me and told me to drop my location because that was her boyfriend, and I was just in shock because I had just spent 2 months with him after booking a ticket to come see him because we were long distance. She proceeded to call me several names, commenting on my weight and appearance. Oh Lord. The worst part was that after I had texted him about it. Oh man, so you texted him letting him know that she texted you. But she had also texted him. Oh Lord. She was sending me messages of him texting her, whereas he wasn't responding to me. He told me that he was gonna call me, and he told her the same thing. Oh no. He then told me that he had to use the bathroom, but he wasn't responding to my text messages. So I proceeded to call him a lot of times only to get a text message from the girl telling me to stop calling him and to wait. Ma'am, no. I honestly don't even know how to feel, and I just don't want to feel like I am crazy. He apologized, but I don't think he really sees how deep it is that he comforted another girl over me. For context, he just wanted to hurt our relationship and stir problems. But the fact that I was freaking out and he was on the phone with his ex really hurts. Would I be the asshole if I cut him off? Girl, no. Hold on, let me go back to how old y'all are. 21. Did it say how old he is? No, you're not the asshole for wanting to cut it off. You're 21. It doesn't say how old he is. You don't mention it. But I'm going to assume he is at least 21. Even though you guys are young adults, you guys are still adults. And I mean, this is typical 21-year-old relationship behavior, I think, because it just is. I mean, I'm not saying it's good, but it is typical. It seems like he's trying to put his ex and you guys against each other. He's playing games. He has to grow up. He has some growing up to do. And honestly, I don't think you're an asshole, but honestly, I want to say you might have some growing up to do also. That to think that this is okay. Like, that you're even questioning if this is okay. Like, you got to have some boundaries. And you're young enough, like you're an adult, but you're still young enough to learn from this situation. That that's not okay. And you need to have boundaries. Because I feel like he's testing you. Not only is he putting you two against each other, he's testing you to see like, oh, is she gonna put up with this and see if he can get away with it. And I'm like, no, he's playing games. I don't know. Did you mention how long you guys have been in the relationship? Let me see. Because I know it says it's long distance. And I don't know, just right there. You guys are long distance, and like, how did this relationship get started? Because, yeah, how did this relationship get started? Because it says you guys are long distance and you booked a trip to him. Girl, don't do that. Don't do that ever again. Like, why would you do that? Like, and then the girl calling you several times and calling you out of your name, talking about your weight. When you told him, he should have immediately put a stop to that. But just the fact that she's even in contact with him is crazy. Like, that's your ex. And it's seeming like you didn't mention it, but I'm assuming that like they don't have any kids together or anything. Why are y'all talking? Especially if it's a situation where it seems like he got physical. And that's another thing too that I want to open your eyes to. He was in a relationship. Hold on. He was in a relationship and you know this, and he got physical with the girl. Why are you with that man? Why are you with that man? Because, I mean, it's a situation, or it's, I know they say like, oh, sometimes people can change. I know me personally, if a person is ever involved in any kind of domestic violence situation or a male getting physical with a female, I'm not finna be the next female where you could potentially get physical with me. Like, no. Like, this should not, cut it off. Don't do it. Get somebody else to do it. Like, just, ma'am, I feel like you would not be the asshole if you cut him off. I feel like, honestly, y'all should have never been together in the first place. So let's go through and let's take a look at some of these comments because, yeah. Oh, so first comment, it says, girl, he either cheated on you or he cheated on her with you. Yep, I didn't even think about that. That's why I am back. My camera cut off and I had to go and charge it. But what I was saying, I was reading the comments and So the first comment was saying, girl, he either cheated on you or is cheating on, or he cheated on her with you. They said block and move on. Also, don't date guys who get physical with their partners. These red flags are nuts, girl. Like, all the red flags were there. You should not, no. Like, this shouldn't even have, I mean, in my opinion, it shouldn't even have been a relationship to begin with, because that's crazy. Somebody said, another comment said, this man needs to be left in the dust with his ex. You need to stop being an absolute dustpan. He he effed around, and it's time for him to find out. Basically is what they said. Somebody said, drop him like a hot potato. Doesn't sound like she was the ex. She might be now, but you were not his priority. Either way, move on. Find someone better. Yeah, I agree. Like, this is insane. Like, and it was so many red flags. Like, I don't know how you found out, whether she told you or he told you that he got physical. So basically it was like a domestic violence situation. Like, and the fact that they told you that and you knew this and you still went and got in a relationship. Like, girl, are you okay? Do you need somebody to talk to? You might need to talk to somebody. Somebody said, you haven't accepted that you are the side piece. Because, yeah, he might still be with that girl, especially if you're a long distance. And he might be telling, like, you one thing and telling her something else. Yeah, it's messy. Girl, I'm warning you, this is probably not going to get better. It's going to get way worse, honestly. Somebody said he got physical with her. Not sure why you want to stay with an abuser since he can hit her. He's also probably going to hit you too. Yeah, just go. Somebody said, not the asshole, cut communication. Somebody said, this is just too messy. Wash your hands of it. Yeah. No, I don't think it's a single comment that says that you're the asshole. Like, not even one. Like, you are not the asshole, ma'am. Yeah, drop them. You're not the asshole at all. Drop them. And I don't want to say go get another boyfriend at this moment, because I don't know. I'm an advocate for therapy, and I want to say I feel like you might need some therapy, because what in you, and I mean, you are young, and I don't know how many other relationships you've been in before this, but what in you is making you want to accept a person that, because I don't want to say he's cheating, but he might be, honestly, that is cheating on you. And definitely to think that you're only worthy of a person, especially a man in this situation, that beats women. What, like, no, like, you might actually need to talk to somebody, ma'am. No, not the asshole. Leave that man alone and move on with your life, okay? Let's see if I have another story. Man, these stories. All right, so I'm going to do one more story, and then I'm going to go and get off of here. All right, so this story, this is a long one. I don't know if I should put trigger warnings in here, but this might be a trigger warning if you're sensitive to, number one, just bad people. Like, trigger warning, because, yeah. Let me read the title, and then you can decide whether you want to continue listening or not. So the title is, Am I the Asshole for Not Wanting to Be Around My Sister After She Married a Sex Offender? So I'm going to give you the option at this point if you want to opt all out. I'll see you on the next episode. But if not, and if you want to continue listening, go ahead and continue listening. So it says, my family, which has 3 children, and I, a 30-year-old female, were invited to my sister's, who's a 35 female, son's birthday party. He turned 7. And while that is a huge milestone, as all children's birthdays are, we did not attend. You see, my sister married a man 5 years ago after knowing him for less than 8 months and meeting him while she was 7 months pregnant already. What's going on, y'all? What's happening? Her husband, which is a 48-year-old male, had quite a few red flags when I met him for the first time, which made me nervous. And in quotation, she says, I'm apprehensive when it comes to having new people around my children, and I like to know a person has good intentions around my siblings and their children, which is very understandable, ma'am. That's not crazy at all. So I paid to background check him. Turns out he had been arrested twice for sexual misconduct with a minor when he was in his 30s. I mean, you ain't even had to add when he was in his 30s because it doesn't matter what age it was. But anyway, my sister knows but refuses to tell anyone else in the family and didn't let me know before bringing him around my children, which I didn't appreciate. Since finding this out, I have distanced myself quite a bit and will only go over if he is not around, and she also brings the kids. She has 4. And also she brings the kids here if he is not with her. So if she comes over, bring the kids. She has 4 kids. Her sister has 4 kids. Now back to Am I the Asshole? My nephew's party just passed and everyone in my family is acting as if I'm just being an asshole for not going. I don't understand how we can all be privy to the same information, and she put in quotations, they have all since found out about my sister's husband's past. So basically your whole family knows that he's a sex offender. And they're just okay with it. They live in an area now where he does not have to register as a sex offender. What? And he works 2 hours away from where he lives so that no one knows what he has done. So am I the asshole? No, ma'am. No, you are not the asshole. And this is just this is a concerning situation. Well, it's sad that he's a sex offender. So obviously he's done something already. That's sad. That actually pisses me off. Anything that has to do with grown adults or just children getting hurt in general it really pisses me off. But no, ma'am, you're not the asshole. You have every right to protect yourself and your children. And the fact that you know this information and you're doing that is a good thing. Like the fact that I'm glad that you're holding to your boundaries. I am concerned though for your sister because so I'm a little confused because it said that she was pregnant when she met him. So what? She known him for less than 8 months and meeting him while she was 7 months pregnant already. So she was 7 months pregnant and met this man? Like, is your sister going through something? Like, does she just need help? And she already has 4 kids. And she has 4 kids. Was her 4 kids? So does she have 5 now? Or was that child that she was pregnant with when she met him? Was that the 4th one? I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter how many kids, but how does that work out? Like, was she married before? Like, what is your sister out here doing? How did she meet this man? But anyway, so the fact that your sister knew and didn't say anything, like, your sister is sort of covering for him. Like, why is your sister with him? Why is your sister with him? Because I'm like, is it covering? Because why is she with a sex offender? And she has kids. Like that, I'm concerned for the kids. What is going on? And the fact that now your family knows and it's like they're okay with it, I feel like you need to cut everybody off at this point because he's a sex offender, obviously. That's a no-go. Your sister seems like it's protecting him. I don't know what's going on in their relationship because the whole pregnancy thing and them meeting while she was pregnant. Not sure what's happening, but that's crazy. And then your family just being okay with it, and then they trying to gaslight you and be like, oh, you're overreacting. No, you're not. You're not overreacting. The funny thing is, they not reacting enough, if you ask me. Why are you here? I'm not saying that she shouldn't have a birthday party for her son, but that man shouldn't be in the picture at all. At all. He should not be in the picture at all. You are not the asshole, ma'am. You have every right. Matter of fact, not even just a right. You have a responsibility to protect your children. So, no, you're not the asshole. Let's read these comments because what? Somebody first comment says, not the asshole, not even in the slightest. Him working hours away so nobody finds out. He knows what he did was wrong. You are well within your right to keep your children safe. Keep low or even no contact with her and even some of your other family. What I said. You know where they stand. Question is, can you handle them having no issue with his past? Yeah, can you handle that? Like, because it seems like your family is just basically not doing anything about it. They're just basically saying like, oh, it's okay. Yeah, he was a sex offender. Like, no. Are you okay with that? Like, I feel like that would have me looking at all of my family members like, yeah, all of y'all are insane. Somebody said to that comment that I just read, they said exactly. I don't think I'd even bring my kids around anyone, including family, that thinks this is okay. Yeah. They are not safe people to have your kids to be with. Therefore, they get no access. I wonder if they will change their minds when this happens again, because it will. This never just stops. Yeah. I mean, it's just situations, I know they say, where people can change, which is like I said in that other story. But I don't know. That's a big, when it's something like being a sex offender or beating, like being domestic violence, like that's a big risk. Like, oh, they might change. And I'm like, yeah, that's just a risk. I mean, me personally, I wouldn't be willing to take that risk at all. Like if I'm not dating anybody, but if I was dating a man and I found out that he was a registered sex offender, that date is immediately over. You will never hear from me again, sir. Never. I will evaporate off the planet. Like, you will never hear from me again. Like, this is just insane. Like, I cannot wrap my brain around how some people just accept unacceptable behavior. Like, basically almost say like, oh, well, he's not bothering me. No. That's what's wrong with the world. That's actually a big part of what's wrong with the world. It's so many bad things happening. And because people are not the ones being affected by it, they're just like, oh, well, has nothing to do with me. And just turn the other cheek. Like, baby, we got to stop turning cheeks. We got to start smacking cheeks. We got to start smacking. Like, stop playing with me. And somebody said, if someone has structured their life so people don't find out about their past, that's already telling you everything. Because, yeah, he knows. And this is the thing. Even though he's not registered as a sex offender, the fact that he's working hours away or living or working hours away from whichever one is means he's also almost in a way, even though he's not registered as a sex offender, is telling you, like, in my mind at least, is telling you like, oh yeah, what I was accused of, I did. He's basically saying like, yeah, I am a sex offender, and because I know I am, so I don't have to hear about it, I'm gonna go work 2 hours away or however much the distance is between where he works and lives. This is bad. Somebody said, honestly, I'm the bleep that would send his job the mugshot. Yep. Yep. Send the job the mugshot. Send them the information. Because do they know he's a sex offender? No. Because he's hiding it. He works hours away from where he lives. Somebody said that they would notify the nephew's school too. The school should absolutely be notified that the man cannot be around any of the students under any circumstances. Yeah. Because how much is this man actually doing? Hold on, did it say that your sister was married to this man now? Oh, yeah, they're married. Yep, that man shouldn't be around any kids. He shouldn't be dropping those kids off at school. But he shouldn't be alone with them kids. He shouldn't be around these kids. No kids. Yeah, get rid of them. Get rid of them. Somebody said, not the ass, but your sister is. I'm just lost for words. Yeah. Somebody said, not the ass. Blast it loud and far. Yes. Call into the news station at this point and put that man's picture, because nope, everybody needs to know. I feel like at this point, even now that you have the information, now it's sort of your responsibility to let everybody know. Because not only is this man a danger to your family and children in your family, and even probably the adults don't know what this man is capable of, he's a danger to the whole community. That's why they have things like the sexual offender registry. Like, that's why they exist. Where do you live? I mean, I don't think you mentioned it. Where do you live that you don't have to register as a sex offender? Like, where is that at? I thought you had to do that everywhere. And this next comment is something that I was thinking, but I didn't want to think. Somebody said, not the ass. You might want to call Child Protective Services in your area for advice. I'm wondering if perhaps he might be banned from being around minor children. You should call, tell them the situation, and the problem might be removed after that, perhaps. Better that than doing nothing and finding out he's abused your nieces and nephews. So when I read this story, like, that's immediately what I thought. Like, Child Protective Services, like, those kids, not saying that we want it to happen, but those kids are going to get taken away from your sister. Your nieces and nephews are going to get taken away from your sister. Because, I mean, I don't know. I've never been involved. I don't know anything about Child Protective Services. But I don't even know, just you calling, because I think you can do it anonymously. I don't know. But if you can do it anonymously, I think even you doing it anonymously, and if they find out, I think they're automatically gonna take those children from your sister. Like, they're gonna take them out of the home, I think. Let me say, I am not a social worker. I don't work for any kind of government. I don't know. This is just my opinion or what I think. I think they're going to take those kids regardless of whether he's a registered sex offender. Just the fact. Until they do information and find out. So, yeah, this is just a bad situation. And, I mean, what is wrong with people? Like, what's going on with your sister? Why did she marry this man so quickly? Why was she okay with this? Because at first I thought you were going to say, like, oh, you did a background check and you was going to go tell your sister and it was going to pop off because your sister didn't even know. I thought that was going to be the twist. But it seemed like your sister knew and still decided to marry him. Somebody said, not the ass, protect your kids first. Yeah, protect your kids and your nieces and nephews at this point. Because it seems like your sister, I don't want to say she don't care, but from the outside looking in, it's looking like she don't care. Somebody said, what the hell? Not the ass. Great job protecting your children. Sorry if that means being a pariah in your own family. That's on them, though. Knowingly putting your children around a sex offender would be dereliction? I don't know the word. But basically they're trying to say that's not a good thing. Dereliction of responsibility. Keep your kids safe unapologetically. Somebody replied to that comment and said, being a pariah in that family sounds like a badge of honor, frankly. Why is everyone so comfortable hanging out with a sex offender and giving him access to their kids? Yes. Like, this is what I said. What is happening? Like, this makes no sense. Oh, here's a good comment. I feel like this comment is a good one. Somebody said, I am a prosecutor in a rural county. For 9 years, my caseload was exclusively sexual assault. Children are almost invariably abused by somewhere their parents know, not the ass. somebody said, also thought about this. This is a good comment. Somebody said, this is the pattern that allows people to continue the abuse. All of the denial that you're running into with your family. Yeah, that's not good. They want everything to be fine. So instead of protecting the children and the family, they are aggressively pretending that everything is fine and minimizing anything he may have done. And if something does happen, they will probably defend him. This is actually the usual response, and that's why you're seeing everybody behave this way. That's how institutional situations of mass abuse go unaddressed for decades. Yep. And I do agree that's a big problem. Like, I feel like, how many times have we heard about, like, family members protecting the uncle or whoever that abused the kid? Like, how many times have we heard about that? And they just kept doing it, and then I feel like that's how a lot of families get all this trauma, because it's people doing stuff and then the family protecting them. Like, no, this person should be under a jail. Go to jail, prison. They said it's more important to people that everything seemed fine and that no one rocks the boat than it is for things to actually be fine and for someone to be ostracized for the safety of others. That is the way things actually should go. So no, you are not the asshole. You are the only one responding correctly to the threat in your midst. You can't really trust any of the others because they would not take action in a dangerous moment. Yeah, I agree. It's looking like they wouldn't do anything. They probably just turn like a blind eye. They are proving that by the way they're behaving right now. Yeah, that's sad. Somebody said, reach out to your local police station. Find out if he's allowed to be around minors. And then somebody said, can you find out if he has a parole officer? Oh, I didn't think about that. I don't know too much legal things. But somebody said, find out if he has a parole officer. Like, I mean, yeah, I guess that would probably help. I mean, anything at this point. And then they said, you need to go nuclear here. Tell the rest of the family I am disappointed in you for being okay with the pedophile, being a part of the family. I no longer view you in the same light because you support pedophilia, and you will no longer be allowed around my children, as it is clear you can't be trusted around children. And then go no contact with anyone who doesn't have an issue with her being married to a pedophile. Somebody said, this is absolutely a hill to die on. And then they also just asked a question, and they asked, basically the OP, they say, do you know where he works? And they ask, can you contact them anonymously and let them know what he is? Yeah, I didn't even read all the comments. It is a lot of comments, but I can't imagine where anybody would say that you're the asshole. You're not the asshole, and this is a very messed up situation. This situation shouldn't even exist, honestly, because that man should not be out here walking around. Honestly, why do we just have a sex offender registry, but then the sex offenders aren't in prison? Like, yeah, you're on the sex offender registry, but you know, just go live your life. Like, we know you out here doing inappropriate things, but you know, it's okay as long as you're registered. Like, what? This is crazy. Somebody said, get his mug shots printed on t-shirts along with registered sex offender with his name plastered on it and wear it to the next party. Because, no. There should not be any parties with him invited. Like, he shouldn't be there at all. Period. So, yeah. On that note, even though that was a heavy story, I hate to end it on such a gloomy, down